Hello everyone. We have started our lesson number 5, separation of substances of chemistry. In that we have seen the introduction of separation, what is meant by separation and why it is necessary. This we have studied in the previous videos. Today we are going to see methods of separation. There are different methods of separation, but only two we are going to study for today, that is hand picking method and threshing method. So we'll start from the textbook first. In your textbook, first activity is given, that is bring a packet of grain purchased from a shop to the classroom. Now spread the grain on a sheet of paper. Do you find only one kind of grain on the sheet of paper? Are there pieces of stone, husk, broken grain, and particles of any other grain in it? Now remove with your hand the pieces of stone, husk, and other grains from it. Now you can see in the picture hand picking stones, that man is sitting and removing one by one stone from the grains. Okay. Now what is a husk? Husk is the covering of the grains. Okay, outer covering of the grains, त्यालाच आपण चोथा असं म्हणतो. म्हणजे when we sieve that floor we get some unwanted portion, that is covering of the grains. This method of hand picking can be used for separating slightly larger sized impurities like the pieces of dirt, stone, and husk from wheat, rice, or pulses. So if these stones are of larger size, we can easily remove from it. The quantity of such impurities is usually not very large. In such situations, we find that hand picking is a convenient method of separating substances. Now when it is not at more quantity, so we can use hand picking method. But if the impurities are more, then we need to use another method. Now husk and stones we can easily remove by hand picking method when they are in smaller quantity. Grains are in the larger quantity and impurities are in the smaller quantity. But for another methods are used when there are larger impurities. So one more method we are going to study today is threshing. Now see in the picture, one man is trying to remove the husk from the grains. See here also you can see in this picture, these women are trying to remove the grains from the stalks of that grains. Now we'll see what is given here. You must have seen bundles of wheat or paddy stalks lying in fields after harvesting the crop. Now harvesting is the process when they are cut. Okay, they are cutting of the grains or stalks, that is harvesting process. After that you see many stalks lying in the fields. Stalks are dried in the sun before the grain is separated from them. आता जर व्हीट घेतलं तर व्हीटचा जो वरचा बाजू आहे, इट इज कट इनटू हाफ बाय हार्वेस्टिंग प्रोसेस, देन इट इज ड्राइड इन द सन. Each stalk has many grain seeds attached to it. Imagine the number of grain seeds in hundreds of bundles of stalk lying in the field. How does the farmer separate grain seeds from those bundles of stalks? Okay, so there are thousands of grains present on one stalk. म्हणजे एक आपण जे ज्वारीचं जर बघितलं तर एक ते कणीस असतं, त्याला भरपूर असे ज्वारीचे छोटे छोटे ग्रेन्स असतात. सो इट इज नॉट इझी टू रिमूव्ह दॅट ग्रेन्स फ्रॉम द स्टॉक बाय हँड पिकिंग मेथड. म्हणजे एक आपण नाही काढू शकत. सो वी नीड टू यूज अनदर मेथड. वन मे प्लक मँगोज और गावास फ्रॉम द टीज. आता एक मँगो आणि एक पेरू झाडाला तोडणे इट इज व्हेरी इझी फॉर वन पर्सन, but this small grains to remove from that stalk is very difficult. So these methods are used. But grain seeds are much smaller than mangoes or guavas, so plucking them from their stalks would be impossible. How does one separate grain seeds from their stalks? Now, for this separation, we need the process that is used to separate grain from stalks is threshing. In this process, the stalks are beaten to free the grain seeds. आपटून ते grains separate केले जातात. They are beating that stalks and separating the grains. Sometimes threshing is done with the help of bullocks. Machines are also used to thresh large quantities of grains. Okay, so this is the actual process of beating on the floor on a hard uh, place to remove the grains or to separate the grains from the stalk. Okay, so these are the two processes which are important in separating the substances. In next period we'll see the another two methods. So for today we will stop here. You read out whatever I have taught you today, that is two methods, hand picking and threshing. So we'll stop here.